Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live forever? To see civilizations rise and fall, to witness humanity's journey to the stars, to never have to say goodbye. It's a fantasy many of us have entertained, but for one man, it became a terrifying reality. This is the story of a man who got exactly what he wished for, and the profound, unexpected price he paid. Our story begins in the bustling city of Alexandria, nearly 2,000 years ago. A young merchant named Calin, blessed with a sharp mind and a talent for trade, had everything a man could desire: wealth, respect, and a beautiful family. But one thing haunted him, a fear that crept into his thoughts during the quiet hours of the night, the fear of death. He saw it all around him, in the frail bodies of the elderly, in the sudden sickness that claimed the young. He couldn't accept that his vibrant life, his consciousness, would simply cease to be. Driven by this obsession, Calin sought out every mystic, alchemist, and so-called sorcerer he could find. He spent a fortune on ancient texts and rare ingredients, all in pursuit of the ultimate prize, immortality. Most dismissed him as a fool, but one day, deep in the desert, he found an old hermit who claimed to hold the secret. The hermit warned him, "To live beyond your time is to live outside of nature. It is a lonely path, a curse disguised as a gift." But Calin, blinded by his desire, didn't listen. He performed the arcane ritual, drank the glowing elixir, and felt a strange power surge through him. At first, it was everything he had dreamed of. Decades passed, yet he didn't age a day. His friends grew old and gray, then passed away. His children grew up, had children of their own, and eventually, they too succumbed to the passage of time. Calin watched as his beloved wife, his soulmate, wrinkled and faded, her loving eyes filled with a sad understanding as he remained unchanged. Her death was the first true crack in his heart. He was alone, a youthful statue in a world that was constantly moving on. The city of Alexandria, once his home, transformed. New buildings rose where old ones stood, new languages filled the streets. He had to change his identity every few decades, creating new backstories, new lives, to avoid suspicion. He became a master of disguise, a phantom drifting through history. He saw the Roman Empire crumble. He witnessed the Dark Ages, the Renaissance, the birth of science. He walked the streets of Florence with Leonardo da Vinci and debated philosophy in the salons of Paris during the Enlightenment. He had access to the greatest minds in history, yet he could never form a lasting bond. Every friendship was a countdown to another painful goodbye. Love became a forbidden fruit. How could he watch another soul he cherished wither and die while he remained? The initial thrill of eternal life had long since curdled into a relentless, gnawing loneliness. He possessed infinite knowledge but had no one to share it with. He had seen wonders beyond imagination but felt no joy. The world was a parade passing him by, and he was the solitary, unchanging spectator. He tried to end his life countless times, but the curse was absolute. He couldn't be harmed, couldn't get sick, couldn't die. He was a prisoner in the fortress of his own body. Centuries bled into one another. He saw the Industrial Revolution reshape the world with iron and steam. He watched the horrors of world wars and saw humanity take its first steps on the moon. Each new invention, each societal shift was just another scene in a play he couldn't leave. He had outlived not just people, but languages, cultures, and entire ways of life. The memories of his original family, his wife and children, were now like faded photographs, ghosts from a life so distant it felt like it belonged to someone else. The pain of their loss had dulled into a constant, hollow ache, a permanent part of his being. He had all the time in the world, but time had become his enemy. It stretched before him not as an opportunity, but as an infinite, empty desert. He had achieved the ultimate freedom from death, only to become the ultimate slave to existence. He would give anything, all his accumulated wealth, all his knowledge, for one simple, human gift: the chance to grow old, to feel the gentle decline of a life well lived, and to finally rest. By the 21st century, Calin was a recluse. He lived in a quiet corner of the world, watching humanity through the cold glow of a computer screen. He saw people laughing, crying, falling in love, chasing dreams, and facing their own mortality with a bravery he could only envy. He finally understood the hermit's warning. Life isn't precious because it lasts forever. It's precious because it doesn't. Our mortality is what gives it meaning. It's the deadline that pushes us to love deeply, to create boldly, and to cherish every fleeting moment. The beauty of the sunset is precisely because it must end. Kellen's story is a powerful cautionary tale. It reminds us that a finite life is not a flaw, but a feature. It's the very thing that makes our connections, our achievements, and our experiences so profound. He wanted to escape the human condition, but in doing so, he lost his own humanity. He is still out there, somewhere, watching the world turn, a lonely god who would trade his eternity for a single final heartbeat. So the next time you look in the mirror and see a new wrinkle or feel a little tired at the end of the day, remember Kalen. Remember that these are not signs of decay, but symbols of a life being lived. A life with a beginning, a middle, and a beautiful, natural end. What do you think? Would you choose to live forever if you had the chance? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's a fascinating question to ponder. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our next journey into the what-ifs of history and humanity. See you next time.